Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of SunRun, ticker symbol RUN. And so I wanted to start the stream off by going over this ticker. Last time I went over it was December 1st. So I thought it'd be interesting to see where the chart has gone since I did that video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Also, like if you enjoy the content, and share your thoughts in the comments down below. Always great to hear from you guys. And also great to hear from you in the live chat. So if you have any ticker requests, let me know. I am here to take them. And I do have a few tickers that were requested before the stream, one being Hycroft Mining, which I have covered on the channel before, as well as Matterport, and also INTS, which is Intensity Therapeutics. Sorry if I'm a little out of breath. I was behind schedule starting the stream, just kind of running around. But yeah, so getting into the chart, SunRun. I had gone over this, let's see, on December 1st, which was this big green day going up just over 11% on the day. And, I can't imagine that during that video I did this downtrending channel that had to have been following that. And yeah, so we did go in that channel and then got this big green candle that really encompassed that green candle from the first, this one being on the 13th of December, going up nearly 20% on the day, getting up to this level that I had marked in that December 1 video at a price of $14.59. So closing above that level with strength, just closing, let's see, closing 3 cents lower than the high of the day, which was $14.99, and then gapping up the following day, going above this orange line that I had marked at $16, really just being like a psychological level, as well as, let's see if we step back in time, corresponding with a little bit of resistance that we see over here. And then so price did continue up, going above the red line at $16.50. And then hitting a top on, let's see, December 27th, really, at the end of the year before we saw a pretty big sell-off and kind of a bit of consolidation. Let's see, looking at the volume profile, actually not too much consolidation there relative to what we have seen more recently back at the, $14.59 level marked by that yellow line. And one thing that does stand out to me looking at this chart is, I'm kind of curious thinking, is this a left shoulder, head, and right shoulder? We did get a bounce here, what looks like could be the neckline. So, maybe that invalidated the head and shoulders pattern, but it is quite possible that this could be coming back down to retest that, especially with earnings coming up on February 21st, so just about a couple weeks from now. And so if we do want to look at the neckline from, this head and shoulders, it doesn't really look like that seems too valid going from there. So if I draw this other pivot point and then maybe adjust this up to, I guess maybe the low here, it doesn't really look, I'm not too compelled by this being a head and shoulders pattern. If it were actually, maybe there is something there. You have this nice little shoulder here. Beginning with this gap up and head here, almost a break of that neckline, but then a retest of it over here. And so if we were to take a measurement from the top of that at $20.68, right around there, coming down to the neckline, that is, let's see, about an $8 move. And so if price were to come back down and retest that neckline and break it, if that measurement were to go through, it would be $8 down from there. That would bring stock price down to around $5.20. Have we seen a price that low before? No. So could happen. And that could, coincide with maybe a downtrending channel here. If we look at that, let's see. So just coming from down here. And if I extend that to the right, maybe price could be coming down to that level and test the top of that as support. When I zoom in a little bit, that doesn't seem so crazy. But, it also, might not be a thing, but with earnings coming up, it is, a possibility that we'll be seeing some volatility. And so something to keep in mind. But I don't really see a drop that far happening. And instead, what I think might be a better thing to do is do a Fibonacci retracement. I have been doing those a lot lately on the channel. Was not doing them back in December when I made this video. And so one retracement that does stand out to me is going from the top here at right around $20.68. Let's see if I can get that lined up right there, down to the low here. Let's see, what was the low on that day? $12.29. I am a little bit off with that retracement, but I think I can get it just right there. All right, and so looking at those levels, what do we see? What stands out? Just going to try to zoom in. Lots of lines here. Does look, I need to auto fit that. There we go. Looks a little better. And it does look like it got rejected from the 382 at a price of $15.50. The high of the day today, February 8th, was at a price of $15.75. So going about a quarter above that, pulling back. It does look like we did get a bullish engulfing candle, though, on the day. However, this does look like it is kind of a reversal signal. Seeing this, big move up, buyers stepping in, though, below the range of price action yesterday, but getting an open and close around the same price, opening at $15.36, closing at $15.31. And but we have not really seen, volume increasing or anything like that. That would suggest a continuation higher. We did get rejected from this level before, so it is quite possible it's putting in a double top signal. And, interestingly, let's see, this trend line that I had previously drawn, or actually, that was the neckline that I just drew. So it is testing that as support, so we might be coming back to that. So something to consider. There are also these gaps to the downside. This one being at, I believe, right around $12, where I have an alert there at $11.95, as well as this other gap at $9.59. So something to consider there. So that would be levels that would serve as resistance to the upside. And it does look like the 382 has acted as resistance multiple times. So if we cannot get a couple closes above $15.50, really, one, to break that level, two, to confirm. And, if we can't get closes above that, I do think that we will be seeing price coming back down to right around this trend line that I just drew. And that would be bringing price down to around, below $14, $13.50, maybe somewhere around there. So something to keep in mind, especially with earnings coming up, if we're kind of floating in this range, not above support, price could be coming down. And let's see, if we do a retracement if we do another retracement, but this time going from the bottom to the top, like here to here, just being approximate, it does look like the 786 served as support on the way down, so I do think that's pretty interesting. That was right around a price of $13.13. The low of that day was $12.95. And we can do, some more retracements here. We do see this range here, so we could do a retracement from the high of that day down to the low here. And, 786 again popping up. That could be resistance where we're at now, $15.55. So something to keep in mind there. And if this is a top, if we do not see a new high coming in, we could do one final retracement going from the bottom here to the top here. If price is to, return to the 786, that would be, right around $13.50 here, marked by $13.57, which is the price that I had just suggested, could be coinciding with a retrace to this trend line. So something to keep in mind we could be seeing a pullback. But, with this yellow line here, that does seem like it was somewhat significant in the past, being a top over here, being seeing some consolidation around it over here. It's possible that we just see a retracement to either the 382 at $14.69 or the 50% retracement at $14.37. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. All right. So I just wanted to do that to try to get, a new video out on the channel. Ticker I haven't covered in a while. I don't see that anybody's tuned into the stream, which is kind of odd, but maybe it's just because I've been streaming so much this week that people are maybe streamed out. But yeah, we'll have to see. I was just checking the channel to see if, there's anything going on there. And yeah, so I'm just going to go over these other tickers that were requested, and then I'll move on to any requests that we get during the stream. And yeah, I'm kind of, wondering if the stream is not connected since nobody's here. But I do think that it is going. It's just that, maybe I've lost popularity. So let's see. Yep, going live right now. Or maybe it's the zombie in the picture. That is Roger from Dawn of the Dead. I believe it came out in 1978, George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, and that is showing the evolution for the streams this week of Roger being alive and healthy, to being a sleeping zombie, to being a dead alive zombie. And that is me having worked, the night shift this week. I'm pretty tired. Okay, yeah, and so going over some of the requests that I got from before the stream started. One that I have not covered is INTS, ticker symbol INTS, which is Intensity Therapeutics, currently at a price of $3.56. And we can see that it looks like there was this gap over here that was just recently filled. That was based on a high of $4, now dipping below that. I am going to mark $4 on the chart, just that being, a psychological level and relating to, that gap. So I think that's a pretty good level to note, and I will, I'll just leave that one white, and yeah, that's locked there. All right, and so also there is not much price history in this chart, so it's going to be kind of tough to, chart it, but I do think that we have seen some volatility in it. We could do some retracements, and, just thinking about $4 there. What's a level that it might be bumping into, finding support? I do see all of this consolidation around there. If we do put up a volume profile, we've had so much price action up here, you can't really see anything to the downside. But if I do, let's see, stretch this. Oh, yep. Volume profile, is based on the axis of all of the data here. So I can't really adjust that. So it's not too useful, but as I had mentioned, does look like we have all of this consolidation over here. And so let's see, $3.20. I do think we could see a bounce around there, maybe $3.19 or $3.15. I think that, that would be kind of in the thick of this, be tough to break lower than it. But let's see, is there a level that really stands out? This one, let's see, the high and close of this day, October 23rd, was $3.15. So I think that does stand out as a level of support, potential support. And so I'm just going to color that yellow so it stands out and adjust it to be right at $3.15. All right. Yeah, so I do think price could be returning to that level. I see somebody has joined. It doesn't say that there are any viewers, but I see the comment, peaceful relaxation, TLRY, Tilray stock. I will go over that. I did just put out a video on it, so I will follow up on that though. But yeah, just finishing up with INTS. Does look like 1350 is the next level to really find some support based on this consolidation. And, hopefully that holds, because I don't really see too much below there other than $3, $2.50, and $2 really just being kind of like psychological levels there. And so if we do a retracement, I'm just going to do this real quick so we can get on to Tilray and the other requests. Let's see, just kind of a rough approximation there. Don't see anything around 315 with this, but $4 being, psychological level does correspond to that there. And if we do, let's see, retracement from here up to here, do we see anything? Something around 413. Maybe I can add the 2618. That would be going down a little bit low. So I don't think that's it. But maybe if we do a retracement from the pullback here, let's see where this takes us. That's not going to be any levels to the downside. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that retracements would be too useful with this because, let's see. Yeah, I mean, because there's not that much data on it. I'd probably have to take some more time to really dive into this. But I do think $3.15 does seem like a level, especially with the RSI still being above 30, right now at 31.62. Could definitely get into the oversold territory like it did over here before starting to flatten out and then rally up. So I'd really wait for that. I'd wait for 315, and if it does get there, evaluate to see if it looks like it might be forming a bottom if the candles start to shrink in size. As you might notice, today went down more than 8% on the day, so there's still plenty of downward movement. And yeah, I do think that $3.15 is on the table for this one. But yeah, I will put up Tilray before getting onto Matterport and Hycroft. And I believe Hycroft was requested first, so I might do that one after Tilray. And see, I've been making a lot of videos lately. I don't know exactly what I said about Tilray in the last one. Oh yeah, this, I'm kind of on the fence with this about this consolidation. It does seem to me like because we've had this big down move, actually if I remove the drawing so it's a little clearer, we have this big down move and then this sideways consolidation. That does make me think it's a bear flag, but it has gone on for, let's see, multiple weeks. But it is, yeah, I mean, fading to the downside. But it does seem like buyers have been stepping in below like $1.86, and we've seen these wicks down. And let's see, the close on the 12th was $1.87. So yeah, really below that level, it does seem like buyers have been stepping in. If we do see a new close below 187, do I have that marked here? I got to clean this up. I'm just going to delete some of these Fibonacci retracements. But yeah, let's see what's this orange level at. 182. Let's see, there was a low there. But yeah, I think that if we see a close below 187, so just 2 cents down from where it's at now. Let's see, the close on yesterday was $1.88. So we don't want to see closes below this level, 187. So keep an eye out for that. That's what I would be doing. But if we do see a close below, I mean, we are putting in lower lows. RSI is, kind of flat. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is kind of getting into a precarious place. And I should note that these are closes, weekly closes. So tomorrow's close, if tomorrow's close is below or at 187, really below it, then that could be kind of a bad sign. But that could be a signal that, that is like a pullback before continuation, a move to the upside. But yeah, I mean, it does look pretty bearish, especially, after this big drop of almost 18% over the course of the week that ended on January 12th. And then we've had 4 weeks, just kind of making lower lows, really. I guess there's this one exception here, the week ending on the 26th of January. Didn't put in lower lows from the previous week, but they have been, kind of going down. But yeah, I see another request. Hey, more money, what's up? Let's see. take on Nikola and Fisker. And so I will be doing updates on, let's see, I think Fisker is usually on Sundays, Nikola is usually on Sundays, and Fisker's on Saturdays. I will be going over both of those this weekend, though. Fisker's like consistently one of my most popular videos. But I did notice that it went up a good amount today, so I think that things could be looking good, but it could always be a fake out too. It does happen a lot with them, it seems like. And so, yeah, let's look at Fisker. Oops. Fisker over here. I'll do Fisker first and then Nikola. And so, yeah, I mean, I think from a stream last week, I had noted, 75 cents right around this purple line at 74.67 cents, which was the close on the 25th. We've just seen so many wicks piercing that, but not going lower. That could suggest that that level is getting weaker. The more attempts there are at it, the weaker it gets, could break. Also, with that, on that note, that we do see this downtrend here, and that does look like it could be forming a descending triangle. And those, whether it's descending like this, or if it's ascending, where you have the flat line at the top and the wedge going in the upward direction, those tend to break where there is the flat line. So it is quite possible that this could be breaking tomorrow, although it does look like we have seen this up move today, up just over 5.5%, closing the day at 78.93 cents, being up in the after hours a fraction of a penny at 79.13 cents, so 79 generally. It hasn't really changed much in the after hours, and so it would be really nice if we could see a break above 80 cents, probably just being like a psychological level tomorrow, but it is quite possible that we do get a retest of 75 cents, and if we do, it might be to the point of it getting so weak that it breaks, which I know is not something any of us want to hear. But yeah, I mean, I think that, let's see, and this does look like this was a bearish engulfing candle. We did get one here as well. We haven't seen anything too, bullish in the past few days. Let's see, this was Monday here. Is that right? Yeah. So Monday put in this bearish engulfing candle, and we got another bearish engulfing candle. So yeah, I mean, I think that it'll be really interesting to see what happens tomorrow. If we do, it does seem like with the after hours price being, a little bit higher, it does seem like we could be setting up to put in another bearish engulfing candle. So if we start higher than the close and close lower than today's open, which would be a low of 74 cents. So ideally, we don't get a low below that. One thing that has been interesting is I've noticed the lows have been like 73.5 cents. That was the low of yesterday. Also, I believe, the low of this day was 74.2 cents. That was on Monday. But last, on the 1st, which would have been last Thursday, the low was 73.5. So I find that interesting that level's been repeated as far as lows go. So yeah, hopefully, the close tomorrow, we don't see it going down. Hopefully we get a green day. We've only had, this is the only time we've had 2 green days in a row. Otherwise, it's really just been like a lot of bleeding or consolidating. And so I'm hoping that this breaks out, but it's quite possible we will be breaking down. I did add last week at 75 cents, but I'm just kind of waiting to see if 72 and a half is tested again, which was the low on the 25th, 72.55 cents. So hopefully we don't go lower than that. If we do, I think it'd be good to see kind of where it settles out, or, if you just want to be able to have gotten this all-time low, that could be an opportunity to add a little bit, but then maybe reevaluate if it's a falling knife. You don't want to chase it, and then see where price is going there. So I will definitely be doing an update on this on Saturday. But yeah, more money comments here. I'm just going to type up so I can see the whole thing. Time for a big squeeze on Fisker. Yeah, and I'm really curious too about next earnings at the end of the month. Date hasn't been set. I hope it's in the afternoon, because if it's in the afternoon, I should be able to stream it. But I would like to stream Fisker's earning results just because it's been such a popular ticker. I have been holding, adding as it goes down. And yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of upside potential with it, but this is kind of the time when it's like, a bottom hasn't really been found. But, like with over here with this red line, we had seen, $1.41 kind of acting as the floor here, getting kind of this double bottom in before this rally up. I'm not sure. Let's see. I believe that it went, let's see, I'll put this over on the 4-hour time frame. We can see, yeah, price did go up in the after hours. Well, it hit a high during market hours, it looks like, at 111. And so, yeah, that's reflected here. But yeah, we had seen it kind of respect this level before this run up, but then we ultimately were rejected. This run up didn't look too strong, got a bearish engulfing candle and moves down. And so here, we are consolidating kind of in a similar manner. And so hopefully we can get a breakout of this wedge and then really retest $1. Ideally, we want to get a close above that. Whether it's Nasdaq or New York Stock Exchange, there's a 30 trading day window that a stock can trade below $1 before getting notice that they need to raise their share price. And I know that with the Nasdaq, they are then granted 180 calendar days before needing to close above $1. So ideally, we want to be closing above $1, and we have until basically the end of the month before we would get that notice, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, on the 27th approximately, because our last close above, let's see, $1 was on January 11th up here. We closed at a price of $1.04. So we do want to be getting a close above $1. And if we do start to get closes above $1, especially on a Friday, it's possible that could trigger a gamma squeeze, because I'm pretty sure that options, max pain for Fisker are all at $1, but that could also just be because there aren't too many options with price being this low. The only other one around the price is 50 cents, which is bearish, and then $1.50. So just going in 50-cent increments. But yeah, switching over to Nikola. Let's see what's happened with that. I've been intrigued by this because it is at this level that I identified over here as wondering if it would settle there before this run up. I don't know that it would repeat what happened over here. It has been consolidating there, closing above this orange line, so perhaps that's a good thing. And I do feel like with the S&P 500 hitting all-time highs, there does seem to be like a lot of euphoria, and with that, I do think we could get a lot of bullish moves or squeezes, things like that. But I do also think those things could be short-lived. But I do think like the S&P 500 could be up, around 5,000 for the next, month. Before we start to see a correction. I think things do tend to take longer than we expect. It's not always just a wick up and then a rejection. Sometimes you get some consolidation and a breakdown. And we did see that with Snap, with a lot of consolidation at the top and then a drop off following earnings. So I think that is something to be considering, that we are kind of in this euphoric state in the market. And so I think that could result in a good amount of rallies. And also thinking about that, how like with Bitcoin, there, when Bitcoin runs, following a big run, you get altcoin season, money shifting over from Bitcoin, taking those profits and moving into the alternative coins. And so right now we're seeing a lot of big run-ups with large cap companies. And once those profits are taken, we could start to see that money shifting over into mid and small cap companies. So something to consider. And so more money. I will go over to HOLO. I was considering, I saw that on the list from yesterday's stream. I was considering making a clip of it but I decided not to because it just seemed a little crazy. But yeah, 59%. Yeah, so I mean, it's like you buy at the open thinking it's just going to continue, and then you lose. Let's see, get a measurement of that. Lose almost 30% of your position. But, I don't think that means that this run is over. I think that this could be going up too. Was it 51 during the, yeah, it went up to 51 up there. So that's why I have that line there. Yeah, so I think this is pretty risky, and I'm not involved in it. Oh, wait, what is it in the after hours? You said HOLO squeeze from 40 cents to 52. Oh my God. It went to 51. It didn't go to 52. But yeah, that's a pretty big squeeze from 40 cents. 40 cents. I don't see where you're seeing 40 cents. Because I see the 52-week low is $1. It says $1.50 for the 52-week low, but here it says that it's, I guess that was an after hours. Nope, Fastly. But yeah, that's a crazy one. I'm avoiding it. I have partaken in some, I believe, maybe you suggested that, I'm not sure, FFIE. I lost a couple dollars on that. I exited. That is a risky one. And so I'm glad to have avoided that. The one you most recently suggested, I believe it was you. I avoided that one. Or I partook in it, but took my profits, which were very small. But yeah, I had thought that, oh, it's consolidating here. Maybe it runs up like it has in the past, consolidation, then run up, and then, exit position. And I could have made a tiny bit of money with this on a little bit of a run up, but I didn't. I wanted something a little bit more, and I sold, I think, for a $2 loss. No big deal. I would have lost 50% had I held it down to here. But I only had 100 shares. It's $16. No big deal. But yeah, risky stuff. I do not recommend. But yeah, I will continue on. I will do Nikola, go over that. This actually, yeah, let's see. This and Fisker doesn't look too similar. No, I guess not. But yeah, I mean, since we did see this run up here, I do feel like this could be like bullish consolidation, although it does look like it's getting rejected from around 72.5 cents. We did close on the day right around 71 cents, just a little bit below. But it does look like it has reclaimed this uptrending dashed line that I've drawn there, as well as this orange line at 70.5 cents. I feel like I just went over this recently, but everything really just does blend together for me these days. But yeah, I mean, it has broken out of, wow. Yeah, so actually, yeah, I mean, this happened with GOEV as well, with Canoe. And so, yeah, it has broken out, but then coming back here, it does look kind of weak, though. And so I'm, wondering if 58.40 will be tested again when our earnings, the end of the month, the 22nd, so a week before the end of the month, I guess. Yeah, so I think it'll be good to just monitor where this goes at. I'll give a more, like robust analysis of this on Sunday. We look at the weekly. We got this kind of like indecision, kind of these hammers are like dancing with each other, ranging between, let's see, like 73 cents and right around like 71 cents. So yeah, this is, is this going to break to the upside or the downside? There's definitely, a push to get this above $1. It is a Nasdaq listed company, and the last time, let's see, that they closed above $1, where's $1? It's been a while. Last time closing above $1, I believe was here, close at 101. And so if we take a measurement from that day to, it's coming out here. It's been more than 30 trading days. So that suggests that Nikola is going to need a reverse split. But talking about Canoe, GOEV, they have not yet had a reverse split, and they've been below $1 for a very long time, I think over a year. So yeah, I don't really know how it works with stuff like this. I'm surprised that they have not had to have a reverse split. Yeah, and I see GGE looking good. I will add that, but before I go over it, I'm going to go over Hycroft. Somebody was asking about that. And so I'm going to do that real quick before getting on to that request. Let's see, Hycroft right here. Yeah, and so somebody was asking in the comments, what are my thoughts on Hycroft? Over here, I had been making videos, when it dipped down to $1.63, I was making videos suggesting that I feel price is going to come down to $1.50, and that was my time to enter. But then we had this big run up to nearly $3, hitting a high of $2.98 on December 28th. And then we've kind of, just seen this sell off and this fade down. With that fade down, I can do, put this in another channel. And so we can see that from, I believe this does it from the close. So that should, yeah, there is that channel. I'm just going to fade the edges of it. I prefer looking at it without the border. And so, yeah, it does look like we are in this downtrending channel. These do break to the upside. As you can see here, there are these two channels, broke to the upside, broke to the upside. So this might very well break to the upside. It does look like it has gotten below this Fibonacci level at the 786, which is at a price of $1.92. So really just like 0.9 cents below that level. And it does also look like, this with this candle coming down does look like this could be a little bear flag. And so I could see this coming down. So what I've been doing, I believe in the company and their, affiliation with AMC, stuff like that, or being partially owned by AMC, and just, wanting some exposure to gold mining, stuff like that. And really, I think Hycroft is more, I would say, silver mining. They have a lot of great silver, high quality silver, where they're at in Nevada, I believe. Is it Nevada? I should know that. I'm pretty sure it's Nevada. But yeah, I do see that this is fading to the downside. And so what I've been doing, since I missed out on this run up to 3, which I probably wouldn't have sold there, maybe I would have trimmed a little bit at the top. But, I've just been buying, basically like 1 share a day, nothing too exciting. And then I did, kind of get the feeling that this run up that we had was showing some weakness, that there would be a pullback. So I did trim a lot of my position there. I believe I have like, it's a kind of such a small amount. It's humorous, around 6 shares, something like that. But my view is, if it does run up, I do want to be holding some, but, also still trying to have some conviction in that. I do think that this might be coming down to $1.50, and I'd not only like to buy at $1.50, I'd like to have an average right around there, so then I can hold it, and just forget about it, because I think that would be like a real bottom. And also, even if it just revisited $1.63, that could be a double bottom signal, suggesting that this would be going much higher. And, I think that we could be testing, maybe this uptrend here at, above $3 a share. So if it does dip to 150, that's a 100% swing. I could then, trim half of my position and not worry about losing any money and just hold the rest of it. So, yeah, I do feel like Hycroft has been much weaker since this run-up. But, that run-up kind of made me question my, I guess, bear thesis that it would come down to $1.50. But with the fading here, I do think that we could see some small rallies like we saw here. But, on that point, we did see a small rally, 2 big green candles, and then continuation down. Then the next 2 green candles led to this big run-up. So we could be, with this retracement from the low here to the high here, it's quite possible that Hycroft could be finding a bottom at the 786, right around $1.92. But of course, this could drop tomorrow and close the week much lower than 192, perhaps coming down to 180, where we see this little bit of consolidation here before the run up. So yeah, I think that Hycroft's really interesting. I like the stock, I like the company, and I want to buy more. But I also, I'm very curious to see how much longer this does fade. But seeing the 786 there makes me think that the bottom could just be, around the corner. before testing. Let's see, this orange line at $2.19 was key resistance over here. Likely will be again. Also, that would correspond with this red downtrend that has served as support going back to the lows over here, March 10th, 2023, and also pivot here at the end of June 30th, before this big run up. So I do think that red level is going to be a key one to get above. That's right around $2.19. So we could be seeing, a 30% swing, a 30-cent swing in the next, maybe week or two. So something to keep in mind. They don't have earnings until the end of March, it looks like. So we're a little bit of ways from that. But those are just my thoughts on Hycroft mining. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. And so I'll probably put a clip out on that over the weekend, though. And if that is popular, I'll put that back into the rotation. But yeah, I will do GGE now. Thank you for your patience. Man, this is trouble, man. You have an addiction to these things that look incredibly sketchy. Okay, so yeah, up over 25% on the day at a price of 3.7 cents. Ran up to a high of 6 cents. And actually, there was a stock that I was looking at. I was getting an alert for it. I forget what it was, but it was just, it was like fading into nothing cents. And then I got alerted of it, and I was like, oh wow, that looks bad. And then the next day it was like 100% swing. And so this, you could have, if you bought that, let's say you bought the open of yesterday, so you were a little early to buying that dip. Man, can't see that thing, it's blocking it. I want to get up to, what was the high? 60. Okay, so right there. So that represents an 80% swing. Yeah, I would want to stay away from this one. But you do you. I could probably put this on a lower time frame if we want to see what the price action was like during the day. It's still going higher. 50 cents, 35% in the after hours. It does look like, we've got this nice channel going up. And so that does seem like, it is respecting that and testing the top of it. But yeah, it seems very risky. So I would not want to, if I knew about it down here, I'd think it's, a garbage stock, seeing how, it's just bled down to there. But that was a really good opportunity. But yeah, at this point, maybe this gets another test at 6 cents, but it's already at 5 cents now, so you can only get a 20% swing on that. I think that there are other 20% opportunities that are probably less risky than this. So I'm going to be avoiding this, but happy to go over it. Thanks for the request. And then the other one, Matterport, that almost got 100 views before the week closed, but I think it was just a little shy. So it left my weekly rotation. But I will look at this. Yeah, more money. Congrats. More money made. Let's see. I can't see if that's 800 or 8,000. 800 on GGE today. I hope you took profits. That seems like a risky one to be holding overnight. But, of course, it could be gapping up tomorrow. But that's, your risk tolerance is, you have a higher risk tolerance than I do. And I feel like doing the channel helps me to manage my risk, because I don't want to be losing everything and then risk losing everything and then be sad and not be able to make videos and be happy. But yeah, looking at Matterport, what we can see here, daily chart, did get a bullish engulfing candle on the day today, February 8th. But it does look like the day before we kind of got this what looks like, might be a reversal signal, but it could also be, let's see, what was the high 2 days ago on the 6th? The high was $2.34. The close of today, $2.34. Would be nice to see the week closing above that. We do have this big move down, consolidation, so that could be a bear flag. Although, I guess this is ugly. I'm actually going to remove this retracement. But this is an ugly inverse head and shoulders, but maybe it's probably not a head and shoulders at all. I can't even say that. And, on the note of this coming down and consolidating, it did come down, consolidate, break down. But then we've more recently had a move to the upside and then a bit of consolidation, move up, come down. Yeah, so I feel like this could be testing 219 again. So I'd caution about that and kind of the way that I manage stuff like this. I think I do have, a few shares, really just following it because of the channel. I think for me, it's like, I'd add at 219. But if it doesn't go back down to there, I just hold and see what happens. Let's see. And I'm curious. I think I might have more than 3 shares of Matterport, which is really, not exciting. I think, I have 6 shares, double that. So it's pretty big for me. A whole $12 position. But yeah. My winners recently have been Lucid, Polestar, which I did exit that one, but I've been adding back in, and then Aquestive Therapeutics. HOLO, $475, scared money don't make money. Yeah. I can be scared sometimes. But yeah, I've been feeling pretty good about Lucid. This one I may not be doing over the weekend because it didn't get 100 views. But max pain for tomorrow, we could actually look this up. But max pain for tomorrow, I believe, is $3. And that would, mean coming back down to the 618 here at $3.03. And so I've been trimming, and I've actually, everybody, you do you, but I've been trimming based on these fib levels. And I feel pretty confident that it's going to be pulling back at least to 318. And so I want to be adding back there the shares that I offload up here. And so while I didn't what was the high here? $3.82. Yeah, I did not offload there because I didn't have this retracement, but I have been trimming at, I think these 3 levels. Those are all in profit for me. My average was around 285 or so. But yeah, I'm just trimming this, expecting a pullback. And let's see, I'm just going to see. I know. I think 352 is the highest that I've trimmed. But yeah, we are kind of putting in this double top signal here. This is on the daily. And if we do look over at max pain, let's see. Max pain. Let's see. Lucid. For this week, max pain is 350. So it has moved up. I did put a post on the channel. I will have to update that. That max pain has increased to 350. And so we are at that level now. I think I was going to trim a little bit more at 353, but I'll probably remove that, and I will probably be more aggressive at 333 as far as buying goes. But let's see, what's it look like for next week? And look, Fisker, Ocean, lots of ads here. Google's listening to me. They know that I want Fisker stock to be going up. $3 though the following week. So while we might, get a close this week at 350, there could be better opportunities to buy next week. So actually trimming around 350 could be a good idea. Let's see, the following week, $3 again. And I believe starting in March, I don't believe the first week in March, this one's 350 actually, getting to 350, but then the next week I believe it goes up to $4, or maybe it's 350 again. 350. Now it's the next week. The next week, I swear, $4 for the middle. Yep, $4 max pain for Lucid. So at these prices, it could be a fine price to hold, but could also be trimming to then buy the dip next week if it does go down to $3. Seems like it will be returning to around that level for a couple weeks before making more attempts at, 350 again and $4, the red line here. So I'm feeling pretty compelled by that. Also noticing, this purple downtrend that I have drawn here that, has historical significance going back to, oh my gosh, 2022. We can see that price could be coming down to that level, finding that as support, and then making the move towards 4. So, while adding at 350, if it's going to 4, does seem like, it could be great. Whether offloading here or just waiting to buy the dip could be, a really nice way to take advantage of, a month from now, a little over a month from now, if price does go up to $4, that could be really nice. But of course, those max pains can always be shifted. So do keep that in mind. Hey, Nameless, what's up? Do you see double top on Nasdaq? I did not see a double top on Nasdaq, but I did notice that the SPX hit 5,000 today. Close, like in the last few minutes, hit 5,000, but then closed below. I think that over the course of the next month, we're going to see, top around 5,000, and we're going to see all these pull back. So I'm slowly, still, actually, I'm not doing weekly anymore with SOXS. I've been buying that more aggressively. And I do see a comment on KGC. I will put that up here before I get onto the Nasdaq. I will add both of those. And I will also do the SPX because I think that's interesting. And KGC. Gold, cool. I don't know that one. That'll be interesting. Is that I'll find out if that's a minor or, if it's like a gold itself. But so, yeah, looking at NASDAQ, let's see, where is this? QQQ. Double top on this. What time frame were you looking at? I mean, I feel like this could be, it's possible this is a bull flag and this is going to go higher. If I look at this in the 10-minute. Yeah, I mean, it does look like it was getting rejected around like 433 and a half. But yeah, I mean, this, because like here, I mean, this is like resistance there and then it breaks above. And now it's, basically holding above that just barely. So, this resistance is now support. So I think that this could be taking another leg up, as this does look like, bull flag here. And then from that, another little baby bull flag with kind of a fake out here. But, we'll have to see what price is like when the market opens. 'Cause if we look at this on the daily, that's just a little blip there. Yeah, more money. You're welcome. Sorry, I'm not as brave as you are, but I do enjoy the charts that you request there. But they're a little much for me. Let's see. Nameless. Will you be adding more substantially on your short positions? So, like I've been doing weekly buys. Just one share, pretty lame. But I think I bought. Let's see. I'll tell you how many times I bought SPX. Always, if I had more money, I'd be more aggressive, but I've just been doing one at a time. And for SOXS, let's see, I bought so once on Monday, which was, my normal weekly buy. Then I bought again yesterday when it hit 475. Then in this morning, I bought 473, so I get those two buys average at 474. And then I saw it at 450, and I was like, oh, I've got to get more. So I got another share there. So not really that aggressive, because, I do think that, I see the, I'm looking at it on my phone. I can pull it up here. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, well, I'm going to have to, that's SOXS. First, I'll look at the SPX. I think that this could suggest, I don't know. I just think that, like you got to think about headlines. The headline is not the S&P 500 hit 5,000 and then pulled back $2. The headline is the S&P 500 closed the week above $5,000 with an all-time high hit on the day. 2 days of media coverage. Everybody's going crazy. Minds are exploding. Everybody wants in on the S&P because it can't stop. It won't stop. It keeps going higher. And but eventually it's going to top and it's going to turn around. And so I think that what we're probably going to see is, I mean, you could think about that as like weekend coverage of it being over 5,000, but I think that it could be really milked over the course of a month of being above 5,000, really getting as many people into it as possible. And then, Wall Street pulling the rug. I'm like, and I also feel like these things tend to take longer than one might expect. Like I would think, it's going to wick up and then that's it. And I think that we're going to see it reside up there for longer. And so I was buying a little more aggressively 4 shares this week rather than 1 a week as far as the SOXS goes, which is, add that here, SOXS. This is short semiconductors. So really it's like shorting technology, which has been a dominator as far as the S&P 500 goes. And with this, I bought 5 shares this week. I'll probably buy another tomorrow. Let's see, what was the low for the day? $4.47. The previous low over here was $4.37. I see this as having great potential. I'm going to move this down, this measurement, to $4.37. If it does revisit those levels, it's a more than 200% move, over 225% move up to the high at the end of October, on October 31st. And that isn't even the end of it, And so and if we gain some insight looking at the high over here, that was, what was the previous all-time high? I mean, this was all following the COVID crash above like 3,300, 3,400. That was all-time highs for a while, and this grinded up. So, I mean, it is possible this could, go up, but let's see. If we take a measurement from that low, this is a measured move. I'm not that good at doing these, or I don't think about doing them. But if we take a measurement from here up to the high there, that represents a crazy 2.6K increase of 120%. And so if I take that and I just move it over here from the low that we saw right here, this is going to be crazy. I know this is going to be crazy. That could put price at $6,000. I wonder. That's a measured move. That's like, I'm pretty sure that's like a textbook measured move. But we didn't have a COVID crash here. So that's something to consider. But but in this time, I will still be buying, SOXS, SH, and SQQQ, 1 share a day until it goes up here. And then that could mean, so, maybe this is a case that the bottom's not in. Taking a measurement from, I'm going to tweet that at Gareth Soloway and see what he has to say. Because I think from COVID high to this high, I think that's a compelling case for this going up to 6,100. Pretty interesting. That would only represent a 75% increase though, but still same dollar value at 2.6K. But I think that's pretty interesting. NEO is a fantastic play. I will, more money, I agree. I will go over that in a second, but I want to address HYMC. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but KGC. I will look at that. Gold. Let's see, I'm just going to look up their profile. Kinross Gold Corporation is a Canada-based global senior gold mining company with operations and projects in the United States, Brazil, Mauritania, Chile, and Canada. The company's projects include Fort Knox, Round Mountain, Bald Mountain, a lot of mountains, and also in Fairbanks, Alaska. And so, yeah, what do I see about this? I wonder if I could look at the gold miner index, and I'm gonna have to delete some stuff from this sidebar so it doesn't get too cluttered. I'm just gonna go over delete the ones that I initially had up here, and let's see, I threw this up there, and yeah. So okay, I'm just gonna add GDX. I had just recently made a video on gold in this. Actually, I didn't make a video on it. I took a clip from a stream, which I don't know that people like how I'm doing that. If you don't like them, let me know. I did get a comment today that I need to work on my presentation skills, but they also said thank you. But yeah, hopefully the normal videos that I do seem all right. I am not a good public speaker, and I've just kind of gotten in the routine of my spiel at the beginning and end of the videos. But yeah, I just fumble with words and everything. And this is Nikola, so this is not what I want to look at. KGC, but I did want to compare that with the GDX, Gold Miners Index. And yeah, so I think that, let's see, GDX, 27 a share. Yours is $5 a share. So I think that that's actually a really interesting, that's actually how I've gone with uranium. And I had sold my position on uranium, which was just a few shares, but I did buy a share back in uranium today, which was NXE, I believe, Next Gen Energy. Next Gen, not Next Gen, Next Gen. But yeah, when we could look at this pattern, and here it does look like, big move up, bull flag, continuation, but then this was too sharp of a move down. But really, I mean, I would think that it's too sharp of a move down, but then it does rally up higher. This does still look like another, bull flag, but then it breaks down. What's the tell of that? Let's see. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we do see this pullback. And how does that relate to GDX? Pretty similar. And so this... yeah, I feel like this is precarious because it's by this uptrend that I put on there. But yeah, I mean, I've heard that, when gold breaks out, which, maybe it doesn't, maybe it breaks down. But when gold breaks out, I would imagine that gold miners, while they might not be synchronized with gold, there will be a little bit of a delay. But I do think that they could be going up higher as well. And so KGC, it was really like a discount of exposure to gold miners. Here it's $27 a share. KGC, $5 a share. Pretty similar shape. Although, let's see. We do have, I'm going to have to adjust this. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm just very puzzled by this because I feel like I want to be bullish, but then this like head and shoulders pattern keeps popping up. So I'm confused by that, but it is not a very pretty head and shoulders. But yeah, I mean, with that, if we do take a measurement from the top here to the bottom, and I basically did this with GDX, if we're breaking the neckline here, that could bring price down to, $4, $4.20. Ideally, I mean, it'd be getting captured by the lows here, finding support around 430. But, I do think that we could be seeing a bounce here and that maybe this is a fake out sign. And, I mean, we could, let's see, look at, if I do a trend line from, let's see, right around there. Yeah, I mean, but that's based on those highs. Maybe trend line from like over here, lows here. Yeah, I mean, so I think that it's at support. And so I think I suggested this in the GDX video that if there's a break to 27, that I would think is a bearish sign that this could be playing out as a head and shoulders. But with KGC, I would say that, this low here, $5.30, I'd put an alert at $5.30. If it does go below there, which, man, we're getting close. If we see a close below $5.30, if we see two closes below $5.30, if we get one close that could be a fake out, getting people to think, oh, this looks like a head and shoulders, but it's not. And then people sell at the lows and then it rips. So I think what you'd want to do for this, wait to see, do we get a close below $5.30? Okay, then wait and see if there's another one below it. If there is another one below it, that might be, a bearish sign. Earnings are coming up on the 14th. So I think that could be a catalyst for this rallying. And so really I'd keep an eye on this uptrend, which, is kind of the way that you could draw the uptrend. What I'm seeing here is if you do it based on the low on October 16th and the low on November 13th. And so this low was, let's see, $5. This one was $5.10. So if I adjust those just right, let's see what that looks like. I do see there have been some more comments. I'll look over at those in a second. But I can't really stream for too much longer because I do have to go to work. And so interestingly, the high of the day really just like barely pierced that level. We have gotten these wicks below it, testing it. So this to me doesn't look very good. And so I do feel like this could be playing out to the downside, unfortunately. But, I could be wrong with these lines. It's just that here, if I would lower this to here, that would just move it up more, pivot it lower here, so it'd be higher on the other side. We did get a touch point there. But I mean, if I move this to, I think it's getting into a precarious place. So I'd keep an eye on 530. And if there are two closes below it, I would think that's a sign that you want to be cautious with this. Just my take. You're hoping for a breakdown. Okay. I mean, to be honest, I learn a lot from Gareth Soloway, and he mentioned a while ago that he, is looking bullish on gold miners. And so it's like, I feel like I'm trying to find signals in that. Like maybe it's testing support and faking us out to the downside. But it, like for me personally, not having any bias and, from my guru being bullish on it, he hasn't talked about it in a while. But I do think that it is showing signs of weakness. So if you get two closes below $5.30, that could be a sign, hey, short before earnings. But I get nervous around earnings because I feel like my calls are always, or my puts, always in the wrong direction. But yeah, I mean, this to me stands out as showing signs of weakness. But it could close the week. What was the high today? 539. It could reclaim that trend line. So I just keep an eye on that. This is one you want to be watching every day's close. And then so More Money said Neo. Thanks, Ron. Thanks for saying I'm doing great. I've been spreading myself thin this week, working nights, and I've got to go to work in like 20 minutes. But I've been loving the live streams. Trying to crank out videos, taking clips for the streams, and doing the earnings has been really fun. I'm going to see when Earnings Whispers releases the earnings for next week. I'll see if I can do one or two earnings calls next week. As long as they're in the afternoon, it shouldn't affect my work schedule. I really do enjoy doing the earnings. Yeah, hopefully that was helpful. But I just keep an eye on it. Every day close matters with that one, especially with Friday being the weekly close. We can look at this. This could reclaim that if we get a green day, if it goes up, really, it was down just 1%, a little over 1.33% on the day. If it goes up, that much and closes, that could negate, any bearish sign here. But yeah, on the weekly, this does look like, it could be a little like micro right shoulder there. but it could reclaim it. And so, yeah, I'll look at NEO. And let's see. NEO, I think is, I mean, it did get rejected from $6, but I do think that this, I mean, you've got this big move up, like big move up on the 6th, going up to over 12%. And then you get this consolidation within it. And then within that, you get even more consolidation. So that makes me think that this is really just like coiling up and getting ready to move higher. And having seen what's happened with all of these EV stocks, Lucid moving up most recently, but then, getting a little bit of a pullback now, some consolidation. But then having seen Polestar, that was, I called it too early. But I did call the bottom with that. And also, let's see, Canoe, I believe, and Nikola has kind of behaved differently, but like all of these EV stocks, Fisker, not Fisker, Fisker has just been bleeding. But yeah, I mean, all of these, I feel like they've been bleeding. I mean, you talk about bleeding with Fisker, look at how this has bled, went up a little bit and bled more, went up a little bit more, but then eventually, we're going to get a breakout. We're not going to, somebody said in the comments, like NEO's going down to like $1.50 or something. It's like, yeah, but what about $5? What about $4, $3, $2? There are levels in between. And I do feel like, and really what came out in a stream last week was adjusting this pivot point to the low here rather than the open. And, we did get one close below it, but that was a fake out before this over 12% move up. I do feel like we are seeing some coiling action, not up much in the after hours, really just, a 1/3%. But I do think that NEO is next on the list for a rally like what we saw with Lucid. You got this line here, the 1618, 257.6. When did I do that, or what was that based on? That was based on the moves here to here, and it went right to that level, looking like it was breaking down below the bottom of this wedge. That was a dip buying opportunity of a lifetime, or maybe of a few months. We'll see where it goes in a couple months from now. Max pain for this week is 350, so I don't think we're going to get too much volatility tomorrow. I think it's probably going to hang out around where it's at, but I would expect a close tomorrow below 350 because the following weeks the max pain is $3. So I expect a retracement to $3.03 where we see this downtrending level of historical support, going back to 2022. And so I feel like NEO is the next one to do something like this. While Lucid, I do have a target of $4, at least short term. Perhaps, if we get there before earnings, there could be a pullback following earnings. So then there could be more dip buying opportunities following that. But with NEO, I feel like this is getting ready to run. And although I do think that, I was expecting $7 to act as support, I do think it could be bumping its head at $7. Looking at the volume profile, we do start to see, really based on this consolidation over here, we do start to see resistance there. What looks like will be resistance at $7. And so I do think that getting back to this line that I marked at $8.11 or just $8, I think it's going to be tough to get back there. But going from $6 to $7, whatever percentage that is, that's like a 15% swing, something around there. So that's money. And I'm thinking that, this is going to be going up to $7 in the next couple weeks. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm early. Maybe I'm late. I don't think I'm late because it's not 7 yet. But I think that's $5.30 was a great buying opportunity. And I think that within 2 weeks, we'll be seeing NEO at $7. So remind me in 2 weeks. By the end of the month, it'll be at $7. I could be very wrong, though. And then I do see, Nameless, I do see figs. And so I will do that. And then after figs, I'm going to have to get going because I got to go to work. It sucks. Oh, dang it. I just typed in figs to the messages. Sorry. I meant to type it over here. And so, yeah, let's check out figs. I do believe I went over this before. FIGS is, what company is this? Did I go over this? Direct-to-consumer healthcare, apparel, and lifestyle brand. I don't know that I went over this because I don't have any drawings on it. Let's see. I mean, it does have this wick down, 561. So really, like, you don't want to see closes below that because that would, suggest that price is going lower. And that was also corresponding with, was that the gap fill? Yeah, gap fill over here. So that's been checked off the box. Checked off the box. The box has been checked. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, because volume profile here, it just looks like, yeah, I mean, it does look like over here. I think this could be, yeah, wow. Lots of overlap here. So I'm just going to draw a line from this open. Let's see, what was that, 560? The open 560, yeah, perfect. So I'm going to make that one yellow. So if they are at the exact same price, we will just see an orange line over here. But I think they're a little bit off. But yeah, both of those lines are pretty similar. 1 cent off, actually. And so, yeah, and then it does look like there's a double bottom here. Let's see. RSI. I don't see divergence there of any sort. I mean, that is higher, but that's not, I mean, because price could go higher and then this goes higher. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, I made this mistake with Rumble in saying, oh, we see a lower high here and a higher high in the RSI, but that's not necessarily, this hasn't been completed because we want to see a pullback. So we'd see that it's a peak. And then we'd see that there's a higher high in the RSI while a lower high in the stock price. And so we haven't seen that yet because price could go up much higher tomorrow. And then that would suggest that this bearish divergence that might be forming has not yet formed and is not going to be forming because this is not a peak yet. It has not been formed as a peak. It's just, what the price, the RSI is right now. So that's, something I learned with Rumble. And by the way, I'm pretty excited about Rumble. I think that it's pretty, yeah, I mean, I'm slowly, I'm going to be establishing a position in that, but I'm intrigued by it going up to 10. I think that's a nice 25% swing. But with FIGS, yeah, I see a double bottom here. And where could some resistance be? I guess, I could do this just a retracement. I feel like retracements are kind of, it's like lazy, but at the same time, I feel like they really do offer a lot. And so this is 61 right there. And so, yeah, I mean, it did bump its head at the 236. And then I can do, let's see, do a retracement again from here to up there. This is going to get really cluttered. But that then pulled back to the 786. And then, so that was support. And then I can, let's see, I need to do another one here from this high at 31 to the low here. I don't know what the low is, 68. Yeah, so that's right. That's going to the 618. I feel like we might be seeing a pullback from this candle. So it was up 3% on the day. Because I feel like what this is doing is it's kind of like, getting, it's coiling up. And, it comes down here, does a 236 retracement, and then does the 786 on the way down. And then here it does the 618. And then so if that is, another retracement here, what was the high today? 610. So yeah, I mean, I could see this coming down to 589 maybe. I mean, I could see it coming down to $6. It's already down to $6. After hours 588. So that's right around, I mean, that, like, without even thinking about it, or not even looking at what the price is in the after hours, thinking that it'd be coming down to the 50% level, largely because of this volume shelf influencing that. But then also at the 618 here, you have this little volume shelf here. So price could be coming back there. And then it's just, coiling. The spring is tightening. And so it is possible, though, that it's tightening in a bearish manner. But because we have this big move down and consolidation, but I could see this as going higher. So this is intriguing to me, especially because I feel like the downside risk is to like 560, or 516, $6 to $5. Yeah, but this I feel like is just coiling up, getting ready to getting ready to go to the 618, which would be around $7, or potentially the 786 at 747. So those are my thoughts with figs. I think that sub $6, as long as it doesn't go below 560, I think that could be a good accumulation area. If it does go below 560, that could be, I don't do stop losses. I'm not that experienced with them, or I rarely do them. But if 560 were to break, I could see it going down to 516. But then at the same time, maybe you get stopped out and you'd be out of position if that is, just flushing you out and then it goes higher. So, yeah, I mean, I find this to be really interesting. I think that it's going to be going up to $7 looking at the chart. Because, yeah, I mean, it's coiling up. And with that, it's creating this volume shelf there. But I think it's going to be springing up, my thoughts there. But, yeah, I need to get packing up for work. I did make my lunch already, so I don't have to do that. But I do need to be leaving in about 10 minutes or so. So on that note, I'm going to throw this up here. If you did like the stream, make sure you like it. And thank you so much for the comments in the live chat. I'll probably be posting clips from this over the weekend just to add to what's coming out from the channel. And because I think some of these were really interesting. I think figs, I'll probably be adding to that over the weekend. And yeah, and then the next stream that I'll do, I was thinking about doing an additional one tomorrow, just for if the SPX, if the SPY, or S&P 500, it closes above 5,000, but I might need a break, and so I'll evaluate that. If we do close the S&P 500 above 5,000 tomorrow, I might do a last minute stream. Maybe if it's above 5,000. Approaching power hour, the last hour the market's open, maybe I'll stream for that. But I do want to put out, I'll pull up the calendar here. I am going to be doing the weekly AMC video, and then also Palantir following up on that after earnings, just being on a rampage. I am thinking Palantir is going to hit 27, but the candle today looks like it's a little showing a little bit of weakness, but that could just be the start of a bull flag before continuing higher. So videos on AMC and Palantir after the close tomorrow I think should be pretty exciting. And then I'll be doing Fisker, PayPal, and Polestar on Saturday. I'll probably also do some clips then as well. And then Sunday is going to be Canoe, Nikola, natural gas, a little bit of a natural disaster there, and Clean Spark. That moved up from being a clip to being on the weekly rotation. So we'll see if that gets another 100 views. And then I'll do it again the following week. And then Alibaba, GameStop, Neo, SoFi. And then we'll have to see. Tilray wasn't as popular as I'd hoped, so the rest of the week's kind of open. But yeah, that is the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining. I will have to do it at work, but I'll put timestamps on this so people can more easily access the different tickers if you want to review any of the stuff that I went over. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow, but that'll kind of be a last minute thing. Definitely AMC and Palantir. And the stream, of course, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Unless you'd like me to do it a little bit earlier, because these streams do tend to go for more than an hour, I can maybe start it at 8:30. And maybe I'll just do that as a surprise. And I can just ramble on about stuff before the 9 p.m. Start time. But yeah, thanks so much for joining, and you guys have a great night. I'll chat with you soon.